Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thursday night, Mark the Mentor, and we are not going to waste no time tonight. We're going to get straight into it. Got a good show for you guys tonight. We are going to be talking about maximizing your business, making your business better. That's kind of what we always talk about on this channel. I always, give you guys ways to make your business better. Also, we are going to have a special guest in the building tonight. Somebody that a lot of people have been asking about, this gentleman for some weeks now. And I tracked him down for y'all. Actually, I didn't track him down. Actually, he reached out to me earlier today. And I said, why don't you come on and talk about it, since a lot of people have been asking about what's been going on with you. Why don't you come and give people an update on your journey, what you got going on? And plus, he relayed some valuable information to me that I think a lot of people need to hear. So I want him to talk about that as well. And actually, this information is something that he acquired and he learned as a part of this next chapter in his journey to entrepreneurship. So come on in, hit that like button. Let me know where you are checking in from. Come on in. Shout out to Pippi in the building. Shout out to the moderators in the building. Mark Brown is in the building. VA's in the building. Up Chuck is in the building. Adarius Venters. What is going on, Mr. Adarius Venters? Come on in. All right, so before we get started, let me make a few announcements. Not many announcements, just a few. Y'all see me looking to the left and to the right. I'm just getting my screen set up. I work on these shows sometimes, well, most of the time, up to the very last minute before I hit that live button. So still getting things a little organized over here. Shout out to Ibrahim in the building, James in the building, Aaron Anderson, Milwaukee is in the building, Augusta, GA is in the building, James is in the building, New Jersey is in the building, Philly is in the building. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? All right, so first things first. I saw Kirk in the building earlier. Shout out to Kirk. Kirk switched his channel around to, it's called On Defense now, and he's going to be talking about different topics. He has moved away from box truck content. If you want box truck content from Kirk, you got to catch it on the Mentors podcast on Monday night. All right, now, with that being said, I want to let you guys know, try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to listen to the Mentors podcast or catch the Mentors podcast. So what I'm doing now is I'm getting it on all the podcast platforms. So right now you can go and actually listen to the Mentors podcast and download it and subscribe to it and review it on Apple Podcast. All right, so I got it up on Apple Podcast. Next week I will try to get it on Spotify. I'm working on getting it on Spotify. Is this it right here? Nope, that's not it. Oops, wrong button. All right, hold on, guys. I'm gonna figure this out. Is this it? There you go. All right, so it's on Apple Podcast. You can go there. Obviously, I've been listening to it to make sure it transitioned the way I want from MP4 to MP3. So if you want to listen to it while you're driving in your truck, if you got an iPhone and you got Apple Music, then part of your Apple Music subscription gets you Apple Podcasts. So when you're driving on your truck and you're working out and you don't want to have to deal with the YouTube video format, you can listen to it on Apple Music. I'm going to cut down on the intro, at that 5-minute intro at the beginning of the podcast, specifically for the audio versions of it. So we're just going to pretty much get straight to it. So make sure you guys are here on Monday night on time, because I'm cutting that 5-minute intro down to about 30 seconds. All right, so you guys can listen to it on Apple Music. I'm not going to go back and re-upload or put all the previous 10 episodes up. I'm just going to put the last episode up, and then I'll keep adding as new episodes. So the first episode I put up was this past Mondays, which was episode 11. Once again, I'm not going to put 1 through 10 up. I'm just going to start updating them. So you'll get the show live first on Monday nights, and then 24 hours later, you'll get it on Apple Music and Spotify. So we'll work on getting it on Spotify next week. But for right now, make sure you guys go subscribe to the Wiseman Podcast on Apple Music, or no, Apple Podcasts. I'm sorry, Apple Podcasts, and catch us there. What other announcements? I talked about Kirk's channel. I talked about Apple Podcasts. You can also catch the podcast in audio version on YouTube Music. So if you got the YouTube Music app, you can just toggle it from video to audio, and you can listen in on that way. I'm not sure if it kicks you off if the screen goes to sleep, but if it does, then you can go to Apple Podcasts and listen to the podcast for your audio pleasures or whatever. All right, what else? I'm working on another podcast as well, so that's another update. I'm not going to release the name of it, but it's going to be I'm going to be talking about a little bit of everything. Box truck, trucking, financials, crypto, stocks, real estate. This is something that a lot of people have been asking me to do for months now. You know, a lot of people DM me, people put in the chat, Mark, I'm curious to know your perspective on this. Mark, why don't you talk about this? People email me and DM me and say, hey, Mark, can you talk about this? So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to create another channel. I don't got time for that. I'm Mark the Mentor. You dig what I'm saying? My channel isn't generalized. You know, I can talk about anything. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to create a whole separate podcast with me just talking about different things. I'll have different guests, and it's going to be educational, and it's going to be entrepreneurial, and it's going to still push people in the right direction in different paths of entrepreneurship, in different paths to making money, and and kind of building a person's mindset to be a good entrepreneur. So I'm working on that now. I got a team. We're working on that behind the scenes. I don't want to release any names of the show or anything yet because we're still building it. Hopefully we can have the first episode out sometime in June. So be on the lookout for that as well. All right. So I think that's all the update. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. What's up, Honeyface? What is going on? Dano TV's in the building. Honeyface in the building. Zup Chuck, what's going on? Dun Beezy. Yeah, Lakers playing, and I'm missing it. But I got my phone. I'm glancing over from time to time. I should put it up on one of these screens, but forget it. So y'all just keep me updated with the score from time to time for y'all just glancing back and forth. Honeyface says, that's so cool that you were willing to do that for them. Willing to do what? What'd I do? Did I do something for somebody? I miss it. What'd I do? What's good? Pensacola in the building. Bama checking in. Detroit in the building. Interstate salute. Interstate screw in the building. What's going on? All right, let's get straight to it because I got James coming up. As y'all saw in the thumbnail, he's gonna come and give y'all second part of his journey. This presentation tonight is gonna go. It's not going to go long, but it's a little bit longer than my previous presentation, so I hope y'all stick around for the entire presentation and the update on James. Kobe Curry, what's going on? It's D-Walt, what is going on? So without further ado, let us get straight into it. All right, so becoming a master of your box truck business, all right? Becoming a master of your box truck business. Hopefully, you guys will be able to get some value, or at least one person is going to be able to get some value from this tonight. I made it very, very simple. Very, very simple, guys. All right. Let's get to it. Smart. All right. You got to be smart. All right. In this terms, we're using SMART as an acronym. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time related. All right. And I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how it pertains to business, how it pertains to your box truck business, and how this is going to make you a better owner operator. And this live stream is brought to you by Smart Water. All right. Smart and smart. All right. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time related. All right. Let's get straight to it. Start with specific. Make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning. Make your goals specific and narrow for more effective planning. All right. So a lot of people, when I talk to them, right, they're all over the place. They're not specific enough. They have dreams and admirations of getting into this box truck space, and they are all over the place. They don't have one specific thing in mind. You have to focus and attack one thing and master that first before you seek other lanes, right? And I think a lot of people are just all over the place. They have a lot of things that they want to attack, and they try to attack these things simultaneously. One of the main things is scaling. And I always say, you want to start with one truck. I've spoken to a lot of people that have come into the space with multiple trucks, and they've all failed. All right. If you don't know how to operate one truck and you're trying to operate three at the same time, you're just multiplying your losses by however many trucks you start with. So it's best to just start with one. Have one specific. What do you specifically want to do? Do you specifically want to do Amazon? Do you specifically want to do the load board, go over the road? Do you specifically want to do final mile? Get even more specific. Okay, you want to do final mile. Okay, do you want to do big and bulky final mile? Do you want to do curbside final mile? Are you going to be in a box truck? Are you going to be in a cargo van? Get detailed. Get really specific. Hone in on one specific thing. Focus on that and master that. All right. Measurable. Define what evidence will prove you're making progress and reevaluate when necessary. All right. So here's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't measure. All right. They don't measure. Let me use this for example. What's a good example? All right. So say you got a cargo van, you got a box truck, whatever, and you're doing final mile. What's easy? Let's say you're doing Office Depot, right? You're doing Office Depot final mile. And with any final mile contract, they throw you to the wolves, but they're not going to put too much on you because they don't want to put too much on you that you can't handle. They kind of want to measure you. All right. While they're measuring you, you need to be measuring yourself. All right. In a situation like that, you're going to get paid per piece, right? You need more pieces to make more money, but they're not going to start you with a multitude of pieces because they ultimately want you to finish the route, right? So that the customers get their items and so that you succeed. They don't want to set you up for failure, right? So you want to measure, you want to create a measure, right? So that you can get to that point, all right? Let's say they start you with 50 pieces, right? That first week, we're going to send you out the first week and we're going to start you with 50 pieces. And then depending on how quickly and efficiently you get these 50 pieces done is going to determine how quickly we're going to start putting more pieces on you so that you can ultimately make more money, right? So with this, you want to measure yourself. Okay, boom, they're going to give me 50 pieces. I want to be you go out the first day. Boom, it takes you 8 hours, let's say, to get 50 pieces done. You know what? I need to cut this time down because if it's taking me 8 hours to get 50 pieces done and ultimately they're saying the top guy is getting about 200 pieces and he's getting that done in 6 hours, I need to figure out a way to get 50 pieces done in X amount of time once you do the math. And each day you want to increase your time. You want to increase your time. You want to increase your time. You're measuring yourself. So boom, you get that first week done. Okay, Monday I was able to get it done in 8. I cut 15 minutes off Tuesday. I cut another 15 minutes off Wednesday. I cut 30 minutes off Thursday. I cut it down to an hour by Friday. All right. So they're going to put 25 more pieces on me. And now for the following week, now I need to measure, all right, the time I ran this week versus the time that I ran last week. And you need to do this with any business. You need to measure, right? You need to measure your performance because ultimately you want to get better, right? You want to optimize your route, which is also going to make you more efficient. You want to get better and measure your business because it may cut down on fuel. So measuring your business is very, very important. All right. Attainable. When you're measuring and you're setting these goals, you want to make sure that the goals that you're setting while you're measuring are attainable. Make sure you can accomplish your goal within a certain time frame. Set attainable goals. A lot of people Man, hey, man, no, man, 50 stops. No, man, y'all gotta give me enough pieces out the gate. I ain't got 2-3 weeks to, man, I can get it done, man. I can get 300 pieces done in 3 hours. It's just not realistic, especially if you don't know the route. You've never done this before. You don't know how to set the truck up properly. You don't mentally know how to optimize your route in your head, right? One of my hiring questions when I do interviews is, what's the center point of the city? And nobody has answered this question correctly. And when I ask this question, I want to know how well people know the city. What's the center point of the city? 0 east, 0 west, 0 north, 0 south, right? All this is things that you need to know in order to optimize your route when you want to make something, when you creating a goal that you want to get something done. So you want to make that goal attainable. I know I sound kind of jumbled. I'm kind of all over the place. You want to make your goals attainable. All right. You don't want to set unrealistic goals is what I'm basically trying to say. You want to make sure that the goals, so basically set small attainable goals. Don't reach for the stars at the beginning. It's okay to take your time and take little bitty baby footsteps is basically what I'm trying to say. All right. Realistic. I got to stop looking at this game. Let me turn this phone off. Give me a second because this game is distracting me. All right. Realistic. Realistic, similar to attainable, within reach, realistic, relevant. All right. Make sure your goals are realistic. Forget this example. Realistic. Man, I'm going to come into the box truck business and, man, the first month I'm going to go ahead and make a quick $50,000 the first month, and then I'm going to go get 2 more trucks the second month. That's not realistic. But believe it or not, this is the mindset of people coming into this space. This is the mindset of people that I talk to. These goals are not realistic. It's not realistic to make $1 million in a box truck. It's not realistic. That's not a realistic goal. That's not a realistic goal. Actually, it's an impossible goal. All right. So when you're setting your business up and you're creating your business plan and you're challenging yourself to hit certain milestones throughout the year, throughout your first year, throughout the first quarter, first half a year, 6 months, 3 quarters, 12 months, full year, make sure that the goals are realistic. All right. You're going to make it hard on yourself when you set unrealistic goals. So make sure the goals are realistic so you can continue to give yourself that motivation. All right. Time related. Set a realistic, ambitious end date for task prioritization and motivation. Right. So when you're going through the previous steps, you ultimately want to set an end date of when you want to accomplish everything you're setting out for. Whatever the goals are, whatever the milestones are that you look to achieve. Let's say within your first year of your box truck business or any business, set a time date on it. When you set a time date on it, it's going to give you that motivation to accomplish those tasks and those goals because you're measuring yourself. If you set a date to say, you know what, I want to learn this business, I want to understand this business, and my realistic goal based on what I've researched and what I've talk to other owner operators who run the same account. What I've learned from just my research, what the let's say the operations managers have told me, what other owner operators that I run across on the loading dock have said, they're making 175. Let's say I'm just throwing a number out there, and these guys have been doing this for 5 to 10 years. This is my first year. I'm gonna make mistakes. So you know what? I'm gonna set a realistic goal of $100,000. And now you're measuring yourself month to month to month, right? Month 6 comes around, right? If you're not at $50,000 halfway through, you know you got some work to do. You got to pick up some extra routes. You got to ask for more pieces. However you're getting paid, you have a measure of where you need to get to, and you know, okay, I'm at month 6 and I'm only at 45,000. I should be at 50,000, right? So I'm $5,000 gross behind my goal because I'm measuring, right? I'm measuring. I have an end date. December 31st of this year, I need to be at 100,000. So now I got the motivation, right, to pick up the pace to do whatever I need to do so that I can catch up because I'm already down. I'm already behind 5,000. So now I got to catch up and keep pushing so that I can meet that expectation that I set for myself. That's going to push you. That's going to push you. And then once you meet that expectation at the end of the year, you're just going to repeat that cycle next year. Man, you know what? I did 100,000 this year, right? I see how I can make 150,000. So I'm going to set it at 135. And if I exceed that, fine. But I don't want to set the bar too high because I'm still learning and not be able to meet that goal. So I want to set it at 135. And if I exceed that goal, that's a good thing. If I hit my goal, that's still a good thing because I got year 3 and I can push it to that 150. All right. So you want to set that time date because it gives you, it puts you in a competitive atmosphere where you're competing against yourself to ultimately hit that goal. All right. Continuous learning. Now, this is something I always talk to y'all about because I'm always learning. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, I still learn. I still read. I tell y'all, my first thing when I do in the morning, MSNBC, all right, CNBC. I listen to the news. I listen to the world news. I want to know what's going on in the world. The world, I listen to local news, the world news. I need to know what's going on in the country, right? Then I start reading. All right. You just don't got to listen. You got to read too. All right. I look at freight waves. I look at modern shipper. I look at transport topics. I look at the current van rates. I look to see what's going on with the ocean. I look what's going on in intermodal. I call my buddies that run intermodal locally. Man, what's going on? How is it looking intermodal? Man, it's busy. Man, it's slow. Man, the rail yard's looking dry. Man, the rail yard's busy. Hold on, let me FaceTime you. You see, man, it's busy, man. This is every day. This is every day. So if you're going to be in this business, you need to stay abreast of what's going on. Stay updated with industry trends, market changes, new technologies, attend seminars, workshops, and conferences. Invest time in reading books, articles related to your field. Continuous learning will help you stay ahead of the curve and make informed decisions. I love using the peak season example. I love using that. Why? Why was I the only one saying it wasn't going to be one? Because I was keeping myself abreast and up to date with all the news in trucking. Every single day I was paying attention. What Nike said, man, they overstock. Amazon saying they overstock. Amazon is overstocked to the point they doing a pop-up Prime Day to get rid of some stuff. This place saying they overstock. That place saying they overstock. The vessels at the port are very low. Low vessels at the port. So when I could confidently say, even though everybody was going against me, I could sit up here and confidently say, yo, you're not going to see the peak season. The companies are telling you this in so many words. And I already knew it. It was just a time I had to wait to say, aha, I told you so. But the reason I knew this is because I'm keeping up with every single little thing, and then I'm formulating. And it's not even an opinion that I was formulating. I'm formulating facts based off everything that all these companies that you guys rely on to move freight is saying. So you got to stay abreast, and then you'll be able to forecast the industry later on down the road. But if you don't stay abreast to all the industry news, you're not going to be able to forecast. And then you're going to become an old Marky Mark to find out what's going on. And then I'm going to say, you remember 6 months ago when I was talking about this? So you need to be able to do that for yourself. You got to stay up to date. Now, seminars and things like that, it's good to go to those things to rub shoulders. But we're in the info age, technology. You can just cut your computer on, cut your phone on, and get information, read news. The seminars, the conferences are good too. You know what I'm saying? They're good for networking. So if you do get a chance to go to them, I would advise going to them. But, get on your phone. Stop scrolling on Instagram for a few minutes out the day and see what's going on in the industry. Build a strong team. Surround yourself with talented individuals who complement your skills and share your passion for the business. Hire people who are skilled, reliable, and aligned with your values. Invest in their growth and provide a supportive work environment. Surround yourself with talented individuals who complement your skills and share share your passions in business. Stop hanging out with all the people that you went to high school with who ain't doing shit. You outgrow people. You got people that want to excel in life, and then you got people that don't. But where a lot of people who do want to excel in life that talk about these dreams and aspirations but never accomplish them, it's just because they're still aligned with people that they grew up with that they can't let go. I got a lot of people that I grew up with that I had to let go. My best friends in high school, we haven't been friends since maybe a few months after high school. So once we graduated high school, we kicked it all that summer. But September came around, I went to college. Even though it was local, they didn't go to college, it was local, but I went to college locally and I got a full-time job. And I had a second job at night. So I was a full-time college student. I worked at the Gap, right? Downtown on Michigan Avenue from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So full-time, 9 hours. And they gave me an hour lunch that I had to take, right? And then after 11, when I got off, I was a street promoter, right? I was on the Def Jam college rep team. So I had to go to nightclubs, service DJs records. This is when DJs still spun records. All right. I had to service the DJs. I had to hang poster boards up on the poles. I had to hand out flyers. I had to hand out sample tape cassettes. And I did this till about 4 a.m. I would get home about 4:35, sleep for 2 hours, get back up, catch the train. Because I went to school downtown. So it was, parking. I couldn't afford to pay for parking every day. Catch the train to be in class by 8. They weren't doing that. They were still hanging around on the block and things like that. So I didn't move away from them because, I felt like I'm going places and y'all not. I didn't have the time. So now at 43, my small circle of friends now is all getting to the bag. See, I don't have to worry about taking risk and falling. If I take a risk and invest my whole bag of money on a business and I fail, I don't have to worry. Why? Because my homies got bread too. They're going to pick me back up because I don't hang with bums. And if one of my homies fall, I'm there to pull them back up. Go invest and take the risk that you want. I got you. These are the type of people that I'm aligned with. And it's small, I'm telling you, small. I can count on one hand and still have some fingers left over. And every day we crack our jokes. We talk about sports. We crack our jokes. But before that conversation ends, we're brainstorming business ideas. What you think about this? Well, what you think about that? Well, maybe we should do this. All right, man, how much you think we're going to need to put up? I don't want to do that. You go ahead and do that on your own. Now let's do this together. Well, what you think about this? All right, how much that's going to cost? Let's try it. As an entrepreneur, you need to align yourself with other entrepreneurs. All right. Hire people that are skilled, reliable, aligned with your values, invest in their growth, and provide supportive work environment. I think a lot of people, when it comes to hiring, they just hire anybody so that they can get the truck moving. They get tired of sitting. The first person that come that say they got a driver's license, they throw them in the truck. Instead of doing a deep dive into a person, doing due diligence in a person, investing into a background check from a person to find out exactly who you are putting behind the wheel of a vehicle that you're paying insurance on, and God forbid something detrimental happens, it's not going to affect them. It's going to ultimately affect you. Some people don't have the patience and the discipline to hold out to find the right person. You want to find a person that you bring on that's going to treat your business like it's their own. And those type of people are hard to come by. But you need to find somebody who's close enough to that person as possible. All right? Develop leadership skills. Very important. Very important. Very important. Very important. Very important. And remember, I talk to a lot of people now. Every day, I'm getting hit up in all my social media platforms. All right? A lot of people don't have leadership skills. As a business owner, you need to be an effective leader. Enhance your leadership skills by developing qualities such as clear communication, delegation, problem solving, decision making, and emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Lead by example and inspire your team to perform their best. You need to be an effective leader. Not everybody is a leader. Not everybody is a leader. And some people have to take look in the mirror and look at themselves and ask themselves the question, am I a leader? Or look in the mirror and say, you know what? I know I ain't no leader. I'm a follower. And it's okay to be a follower. We got some great followers out there. Just be the best follower that you can be. Not everybody is a leader. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're not a leader, you will never be successful in business. You will never, if you're a part-time leader, you'll never be successful in business. It doesn't mean that you don't take constructive criticism, you don't listen to people's ideas, or when people will try to tell you things, you don't listen to people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have to be a good leader 100% of the time. All right? Clear communication. All right? Clear communication. Be direct. Me, I'm direct. Everybody that watches my show, from the Wise Man to my live streams, you know I'm direct. I'm going to get straight to the point, whether you like it or you don't like it. And this is how you need to be as an effective leader. You can't have no sucker in you, because especially if you're dealing with employees, if they see weaknesses in you, they're going to prey on that. We talked about the brokers the other day. A lot of people expose their hand. They unsure themselves, and when they talk, people that's wolves can hear. Oh, he unsure. He a sucker. Let me get him. Let me stain him. You want to be direct. Sure, when you speak, you want to speak with confidence. You want to look a person in the eye, and you want to be clear when you speak, when you communicate with these people. Delegation. You got to be able to tell people what to do, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. You can't be, well, damn, I don't want to tell Randy that it's his turn, to take the garbage out. And, we own a restaurant in Midtown Manhattan or downtown Chicago. And, everybody don't like to take the garbage out because the rats in the alley, and they might flip the lid up and 3 or 4 rats might jump out. But this is a part of the job. I don't want to tell him because I don't want to hear what he got to say. Nah, a boss don't worry about that. Listen, man, it's your turn to take the garbage out. Man, I ain't trying to hear that. It's your turn. We work on a rotation. Man, take the stick. Make sure you 6 feet back. Take the stick, flip the lid up, let the rats jump out, toss the garbage in the dumpster, take the stick, the 6-foot stick, close the lid. You don't have to get up on it. This is a part of the job when you hire. I ain't trying to hear that. You got some people out there that are in management positions that are scared to delegate to their underlings. And this is why they're not good managers. And they ultimately end up getting fired. They're not good business owners, because they can't approach their employees when it's time to talk. The same way they approach them with easy things to talk to them about or tell them, they don't have that same energy when it's something that they got to approach an employee with that's uncomfortable. You got to be the same. You got to be solid either way. All right. Something we always talk about, problem solving. What I tell y'all all the time, being a business owner ain't nothing but just solving problems all day. You have to be a good problem solver to be a good business owner, because you're going to get plagued with problems all the time. And you're not going to know when they're coming. They're just going to come. And you got to make some decisions on the fly. You got to solve some problems on the fly. Hey, Mark, I'm on I-294, man. The tire just had a blowout. Which tire? Oh, the driver's side left front tire. All right, I got Cassidy on the way. Give me a second. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call Cassidy. Go do me a favor. Get out the truck. What's the spec on that tire? Hey, Cassidy, I got a truck just broke down on 294 right by the O'Hare exit. How soon can you guys get a truck out there to replace it? Well, the tire is $500, and it's gonna be $150 an hour to send a guy out there with a 2-hour minimum. Plus, we charge you 1 hour there and 1 hour back. So, minimum is gonna be 4 hours. That's 600 plus the 400 for the tire. That's 1,000 plus, it's in Chicago. It's 10.25% tax. So you could stick another 102.50 on top of that $1,000. So your total is gonna be 1102.50. I have to solve that problem on the fly. Hey Mark, yeah, I wasn't paying attention, and I just tore the roof off the truck. I hit a viaduct. It was 11.2. All right, man. Let me call the tow truck. I'm gonna have to cuss him out later, but I gotta get that truck out of there. I gotta solve that problem. Hey, this is Mark. Yeah, who are you? You've been served. Served for what? Oh, this guy's suing us because he got into an accident. All right, let me get my lawyer on the phone. Things are gonna happen. You have to be a good problem solver. All right, business owner, nothing but solving problems. Most of your day is gonna be solving problems. All right. Decision making good decisions. You're going to make bad decisions sometimes, but ultimately you want to decrease your bad decisions over your tenure of business. You want to make more good decisions than bad, so you ultimately only make good decisions. You see what I'm saying? It's very important to be a good decision maker in business. Emotional intelligence. It's too many people run business off emotion. You're supposed to run a business off passion. I'm passionate about this business. I don't run business off emotion. That's why when y'all see people say certain things, I don't draw off emotion. All right? I don't draw off emotion. You have to be emotionally intelligent when it comes to business. Things are going to happen, good or bad. And you can't let your emotions get into the way of business. If you let your emotions get into the way of business, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. If you get all soft and moist because things aren't going your way, like some people, when they start failing, they want to sit and cry about it. You just give it up. Go get a job. Because guess what? That time that you're having, it's going to be times like this down the road again too. Like having a business isn't a straight arrow up and to the right. It's a bumpy road. So if you're crying today and things go good next week, you'll be crying again in another month or two. And that's just not a comfortable, healthy life to live. You can't run a business off emotion. You run a business off passion. You let the bumpy road, when the road gets bumpy, you let that negative time in business fuel your passion to want to do better and work your way out of it. I've been in some messed up situations in business. Messed up. Like, I haven't even talked about a lot of the situations. I've been in some bad situations, but I've always got myself up out of them because I didn't bury my face in my palm and get the crying and stuff because I'm wasting time. Some of these situations are time sensitive, so I don't have time to be emotional and crying. I got to solve a problem. So I'm letting my passion about the business fuel me to get this problem solved. You can't draw a business off emotion. It's people on the internet that's like you don't run a business off emotion. You run it off passion. Passion, not emotion. All right. I'm just gonna leave that like that. Lead by example and inspire your team to perform at their best. You have to lead by example. Big issue. Big issue. Big issue. Listen, you want your people to be professional, you got to be professional. If you come to work with your pants hanging down off your ass, they're going to come to work with their pants hanging down off their ass. If you're late to work every day, they're going to be late to work. If you're running a business and ultimately you got to open the door, but your workers are on time, and when you get to work, they're standing out in front of the business waiting on you, and you're late, then they're going to start being late. Your employees are going to be a reflection on you. Know your market and your customers. Understand your target market, their needs, preferences, pain points. Conduct market research, gather feedback from customers, and adapt your services accordingly. Continuously monitor market trends and adjust your strategies to stay relevant. Key part The last one, adjust your strategies to stay relevant. Know your market. This is something that I focused on a lot. I think March and maybe April. Market analysis. Knowing your market. Hit that like button too. I don't see a lot of thumbs up going up. Please, man, hit that like button, man. So, I can, the motivation that I need to continue to do this, I need the like button. I'm not charging you nothing. You dig what I'm saying? Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Market analysis. This is something I've been focusing on lately because I think a lot of people, they have ideas in their head on getting into this box truck business, but they don't understand why market plays a very significant role, right? Depending on what you want to do. Final mile, Amazon, middle mile, OTR, it don't matter where you at. It don't matter where. You may have a little deadhead if you rural middle America somewhere to get to a facility, but for the most part, you can pretty much do that from anywhere. But if you plan on running Amazon Relay or you plan on running Final Mile, any type of Final Mile, market plays a huge role. So you need to do a market analysis ultimately if you are deciding to jump into one of those lanes. Knowing the market, knowing the clientele. Same thing if you want to start a moving company with your box truck. You need to know your market. You need to know the customer base in that market. What type of customers are you going to deal with? All right. That's going to ultimately help you set your price points. It's going to help you with your marketing. All right. Adapt your services accordingly. Continues to monitor market trends. Like I said, stay abreast of what's going on in the industry. Stay abreast of the market trends. All right. Focus on innovation. Encourage a culture of innovation within your organization. Seek new ideas, experiment with different approaches, and encourage your team and yourself to think creatively. Embrace change and adapt to new technologies or business models that can improve your operations or offer new opportunities. What do I always say? Things are constantly changing. Nothing is the same. Things will continuously change. And when things change, you have to be able to adapt to change and accept change. A lot of people don't want to accept it. All right. And in order to adapt to it, first you got to accept it. Once you accept it, then you can adapt to it. All right. A lot of situations when you're running a box truck, believe it or not, are beyond your control. We talk about all the time, supply and demand as far as the spot market rates. Even with Final Mile, if you get a Final Mile dedicated contract and you're getting 50% of the stops, right? So let's say you're getting 50% of what the 3PL is getting. That's beyond your control as far as you're getting 50% of what they're getting, right? So ultimately, they've already negotiated with the retailers how much per stop. So that's beyond your control. If they say 50% is 50%, we're getting $100 per stop, we're giving you 50. Well, I want 60. No, the contract says 50%. So 50% of 100 is $50 per stop. Well, then y'all need to increase how much y'all charge it. Well, no, that's not how this works. So that's beyond your control. If they say, you know what, we had to renegotiate our contract with Home Depot because it was 10 other 3PLs trying to outbid us because the contract was up. So we bid $5 under. So, we got to pay you $5 less. It's beyond your control. So are you going to give up this contract for $800 a day, for $795 a day for $5? That's something that's beyond your control. They renegotiated, right? And the shit rolls downhill. So now this is a change. This is a $5 swing. You got to adapt to it. It's not worth losing a contract over $5. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just an easy example. Obviously, when you're in business, you're going to have a lot of more harder situations. I just try to make the examples easy so people can understand what I'm talking about. Adapting to change. Technology is going to continue to change the industry, and you have to be able to adapt to technology as well. Trucks are going to come out. They're going to be EV eventually. You may have to purchase an EV truck. This is later on down the line, but if Biden gets his way, if a lot of these other governors start, pressing the issue, which I believe they are, then ultimately, maybe 10, 15 years from now, people that are in the space then are ultimately going to have to transition over to EV. They're not going to have a choice. But that's just a change that people are going to have to adapt to. People are going to have to adapt to that anyway, because manufacturers can't produce or sell gas combustible engines after a certain year. So these are things that are going to be beyond people's control that you're going to have to adapt to. And in business, you're going to have to constantly adapt to change. All right? Accept it. This Amazon stuff. Every time Amazon changes their rules, right? They're tightening up their rules, right? Because things have slowed down. So now they don't need all hands on deck. When they needed all hands on deck, they loosened up a lot of things that should have been tight. But they knew if they tightened them, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to pass those protocols, wouldn't have been able to pass those specifications, right? So now they're tightening up on them, and now people are getting upset. Every time they tighten up on a new rule, people get upset. It's a change. Adapt to it. Adapt to it or get left behind. What was that? Okay. Customer service. Every lane has a customer. Shipper, broker, moving customer, final mile 3PL, final mile customer when you get to their home. All right. Customer satisfaction should be a top priority. Provide personalized experiences, listen to customer feedback, and address any issues promptly. All right. Building strong customer relationships and loyalty will lead to repeat business and positive word of mouth recommendations. Now, this is something I talked about on last week's live as far as the moving. All right. The reason my moving business was able to scale up so fast back in the day was word of mouth. You know, moving is a very personable business. You're dealing with people's personal items, their personal belongings, from their personal furniture down to the panties in the wife's underdrawer. Especially if they're paying you to pack. You got to pack panties and stuff. I've went on jobs back in the day. I've had to pack things from panties to HIV medication. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. All right. So when you're dealing with a business, you have to treat customers with the utmost respect. You have to, when you have an issue with a customer, let's say you're running final mile and you damage something. Do you try to cover up the damage or act like it never happened and hope they don't notice it? Or do you do the moral thing and jump out in front of it and say, hey, you know what? Coming up the stairs, I kind of lost my footing and I kind of leaned into the wall and my shoulder, put an indentation on the wall. I'm just letting you know I'm jumping out in front of it. However you want to handle it, we can handle it. Believe it or not, sometimes the customers be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. We have painters coming to paint the wall next month anyway. They'll just patch it up. It's some other spots they got to patch up. Some may say, all right, well, who's going to fix it? Same thing with a floor. Same thing with an item. You know what? We were careless. I thought I had it, but the one of the legs to the dresser broke off. I had to hop on a truck during the pandemic. I was on the truck a lot, the moving trucks. And I remember I broke a lady's TV like 2 summers ago. Well, summer 21, I believe. And I did it. And I knew why I did it. I was frustrated. And she had a lot more stuff than what she told us she had when she booked the move, and the truck was just full, and I was trying to squeeze that TV on, and I just was like a finger cross thing. I hope it makes it here. And it didn't make it there. It broke. And, I ran down to Walmart and I bought her a better TV than what she had. She had a Element or something. One of them Walmart TVs, Element, Westinghouse, one of them TVs. So they didn't have that particular TV anymore. So I bought her a bigger TV, 4K, that was better. You know what I'm saying? And I replaced it. You know what I'm saying? But that was the right thing to do. You see what I'm saying? That was the right thing to do. And ultimately, as a business person, you always got to make the right decision for the customer, right? Because ultimately, customers are the reason why you're in business, why you're making money. So you don't ever want to stain a customer. You know what I'm saying? 3PL customer, right? You want to keep them in your good graces by showing up to work, do your job, make sure your trucks are there. Make sure if they make you wear a uniform, make sure you guys got on uniforms. If they ask you, hey, we need you to help out. We had 2 contractors didn't show up. And I gave this example last week. We need all hands on deck. Can you take 3 or 4 stops or 2 stops? We're dividing these stops up because we got to cover these other 2 routes. Can you take 2 stops? Nah, man, I'm trying to get home early. The Lakers playing tonight. They're going to remember that. So when things come up, new opportunities that may be more money, they're going to remember, we're not going to give him that new opportunity because he couldn't even take an extra 2 stops. So you want to leave a positive, what's the word I'm looking for? You want your customers to think positive about you, all right? You want to keep everybody in your good graces, all right? You want to keep everybody in your good graces, from brokers to 3PL companies to customers if you got a moving company to the shipper. Anybody that can be deemed as a customer, you want to provide them excellent and great service. All right, financial management. Develop a solid financial plan and monitor your business financial health regularly. Understand your cash flow, manage expenses, and set realistic budgets. Seek professional advice when needed and stay on top of your financial obligations. People don't know how to pay themselves. They don't understand cash flow. They don't have a P&L. They don't understand how to pay Uncle Sam. They rob from the sustainability of their business. You know what I'm saying? Understanding your company's financial is very important. Understanding your company's financials is very important. All right. I've talked to people that pay people with Cash App, Venmo. All these things are just not becoming of a successful business person. These things are becoming of a person who's not taking business seriously, a hustler. All right. So you have to develop a solid business plan, a solid financial plan, and you got to monitor this financial plan weekly, daily, to be real, I should say. You want to monitor your financials daily. The first thing I do when I wake up, outside of watching the news and reading the news, I check my business accounts. I check my personal accounts too. I check all my accounts. I want to see what came in, what came out. I want to make sure I didn't get hacked overnight. I didn't get scammed or anything. You might get a notification from the bank, the fraud department, but you were in a deep sleep, so you didn't hear the text message. Hey, did you just try to buy something from Dunkin' Donuts for $3 and you sleep? You might have missed it. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I check all my accounts, bank accounts, stock accounts, crypto accounts, anything where there's some type of monetary value, I'm checking it to make sure that if something did change overnight, it was supposed to change. It wasn't something that changed that was unauthorized because some guy in India or some guy over here in this country or some guy up in Detroit then got a hold of my information on the dark web because Capital One was breached or this company was breached. And now everybody that personal information that that got breached from that company now is on the dark web for sale, and any scammer can buy a profile or a bunch of profiles or a packet of profiles, and now they got all these information, and I just happen to be one of them. All right. So you want to monitor your financials regularly, daily. All right. Manage your expenses, set realistic budgets. All right. Seek professional advice when needed and stay on top of your financial obligations. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, like I always say, go holler at a CPA. All right. Having a CPA is probably one of the best things I could have ever did, because a lot of advice that he gave me, it made me a better business person. How to buy personal vehicles, not buy personal vehicles. If you're gonna buy a personal vehicle, just buy it under the business. Don't finance it, lease it. Why would you buy that, Mark? Why don't you just lease it? That's what smart people do. Things like that. So seek financial advice if you don't deem yourself smart in that category. Network and collaborate. Build a strong network of professional industry peers and potential partners. Attend networking events, join industry associations, participate in relevant communities, collaborate with others to leverage their expertise, explore new opportunities, and foster mutually beneficial relationships. It's basically what you're doing here. Listen to me talk about my experiences, point you guys in the right direction, help you guys out. Coming here on Thursday nights, Sunday nights when I was doing them. Take information from here, run off with it, formulate your own opinion, successfully build your business. I even see people engaging in the chat. You're networking. So using this platform is allowing people to come here, engage with me, but even better, you guys are engaging in the chat. I look at the replays and sometimes I'll glance over in the chat when I'm doing my presentation. I'll see people helping each other out. That's very important. All right. Especially, if you're going to be in the industry, right? So outside of, watching Freight Waves or reading Freight Waves and Modern Shipper and whatever else you guys, trucking journalistic websites that you guys frequent on the internet, watching the world news, MSNBC, CNBC, all right, CNN, all the world news, keeping up with the war in Ukraine, keeping up with Putin, keeping up with the election, fuel, inflation, things of that nature. You have to network with people that are in the industry as well. And this is a platform, right, that you can do that. It's very important. Hey, man, Mark said go to T-Force. I saw that you went to T-Force and you got on. Yeah, I went to the one in Savannah, Georgia or whatever. Well, man, they didn't call me back. What did you do? Who did you talk to? Yeah, I talked to a lady named Billie Jean. Billie Jean, all right, I'm going to go back up to tomorrow and ask for Billie Jean. Yeah, she cool as hell. Just go ask for Billie Jean. Things like that, I help, get people to the next level. You got to open your mouth and you got to put yourself in the environment with like-minded people or people that are in that space to get this information, all right? So networking, it's people that come into the chat. I be looking at the numbers in the chat. It'd be like 50, 60, 70 people. Monday it was like 102 people in the chat, right? But only like 25% of the people were engaging. But then I get private DMs, man, Mark, I'm struggling, I'm failing, help me out. And I guarantee these are people that are lurking in the chat instead of putting the information in the chat, because I don't go back and read every single thing that goes on while I'm doing my presentation no more, because I'm trying to keep these things down. But you can ask me a question and I might miss it, but somebody in the chat will answer. I see it happening all the time. I see Pippi answer a question. I see Is the Walk answer a question. I see Zupchuck. I see these people helping people out because I might not catch it, but it might have been something that I spoke on in a previous live and they already have the answer, right? But you'll never know it if you don't open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. So just because I'm up here talking doesn't mean that somebody in the chat doesn't have the answer, because once again, it may be something that we already covered or something that somebody else has the answer to. So you have to open your mouth and network. You have to seek information. And that's how ultimately you're going to get better and you're going to become more successful. All day today, I've been seeking information. So when I do these lives at night, some days I'm tired. Today's one of them days I'm tired. So my brain is like, I'm talking, I'm doing a presentation. You see me a few times in this presentation. I simple words, I can't even think of the words because I'm mentally drained, because all day I'm working on a new podcast. I had to do this presentation. I'm on the phone with Kirk talking about Monday show. I got my businesses to run. I'm talking about 2 new businesses that I'm trying to start. outside of the internet, like real, other businesses out in the world. And this is my day. So all day, I've mentally been working my brain. I haven't lifted a thing. I didn't even go to the gym today. I didn't have time. I haven't lifted a thing. I've been mentally doing push-ups all day. From the moment I got up to now, it's been mental. So now I'm mentally drained to the point where I'm doing a presentation and certain words, I can't think of certain words and stuff like that. And it's obvious because you can see, okay, he do this live this day. It's just smooth. But then this way, I could tell he was a little mentally drained. Today, I'm mentally drained. So what I'm saying is I may miss something, but somebody else in the chat may catch it. You got to continue to seek knowledge. And today, while I've been doing all that, handling all that business, I still found time to seek knowledge. I listened to 2 podcasts a day while I was working, and I caught the news. I listened to 2 podcasts a day while I was working, and I still caught the news. While I worked on a new podcast, this podcast, Monday's podcast, this show, Monday's podcast, a new podcast, take those phone calls, talk to the graphic designer in Russia, talk to another potential business partner for 2 transportation businesses I'm trying to start outside of trucking that I'm not going to get into right now. Talk to Kirk about Monday's show. Figure out how to get this podcast on Apple. Research how to get it on Spotify. And continuously update myself with current events throughout the day. Right? And this is how you stay sharp in business. You got to do mental exercise. Your brain has to work all day long. All right? Remember, mastering your business is an ongoing process. Basically what I said, it's an ongoing process. You can't get into your business and think, okay, well, I got my DOT, I got my truck, I got Amazon, I'm running. And you got to constantly educate yourself. Be adaptable. We talked about that. Embrace change. We talked about that. And continuously evaluate and improve strategies. We talked about that. Know what's going on. You know what? I think we can save more money on gas. We need to optimize these routes a little bit better. Constantly evaluate and improve your strategies to stay ahead in competitive business environment. Business is very competitive. And it's constantly changing. What do I always say? What I was able to do when I first got started, I wouldn't be able to do that now. Why wouldn't I be able to do that? Because the industry is always changing. It's a different industry now. It's the same industry, it's just we're living in different times. The players have changed. The mindset of the players has changed. The mindset of the business owners have changed. The volume has increased. Things have changed. You have to be able to adapt to change. All right. So that's the presentation. James, if you are in the building, go ahead and hit that link that I sent you and come on up, James. Mark, I appreciate that you share the knowledge I always share with my kids in some way. Appreciate you. Any run, final mile in Detroit. Plenty of final mile in Detroit. Wanda says, I feel you. South Carolina in the building. All right, here go James. James, what up?
What's up, Mark?
How you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling a lot better after hearing some words of wisdom.
Okay, man. I'm glad I was able to motivate you, man. A lot of people have been asking about you, man, for the past few weeks, man. So why don't you tell them what you've been up to? And guys, hit that like button too. It's 52 likes. I think we topped that tonight. We topped that I don't know. I think I see like 52 people in here. So man, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. 49 likes, I think. Hit the like button. So James, what have you been up to? A lot of people have been asking about you for the past few months.
So the last about the last 2 weeks, but prior to that, I revoked my MC, and then I put my DOT out of business. It wasn't that hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the reason why I did it was because I tried a new strategy to try to see if I could stay out there longer. And what I did was I put the rental on the credit card. I figured if it's 700 a week, all I got to do is pay the mileage. I'll let the weekly build up. I'll have some time to pay the insurance, and then I can tackle that bill. It didn't work out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Got out of control. And then my business account went negative like a thousand. And I was talking to Penske. I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question. If I can't pay one bill, but I'll catch up the next following week. What happens?" So they pretty much said, "Well, with corporate policy is you have 1 day to pay, or we'll report the truck stolen, or you can call the desk and we'll work with you and we'll give you up to like 3 days." So I figured, man, I could have paid it, but I said, no, I'm not taking that risk. So I
Mm-hmm.
said it's getting out of hand, and I put it down. Um,
So was this
eh,
when you got back from California?
this was after I actually took I. It's crazy. I took another load to Colorado. I was halfway there, and that's when that situation arose, and I made the decision to say
So not to
it's
cut you off.
enough.
So you did the New York to California, which we kind of we you know we did what we did. We kind of scolded you a little bit. You made it back from
Yeah.
California to New York, and then you took another cross country from New Jersey to
Well,
Colorado.
I took a couple trips. I went to Vermont, border of Canada. I came back to Jersey. Took Jersey to Florida. Um, I actually almost partialed. I thought I was gonna have two loads in the truck with TQL and everything. And actually, the week prior to me um putting stuff down, TQL was giving up partials. They were telling me, I can partial. It was just very weird. It was something new to me.
Mm-hmm.
But as I told them, I wasn't accustomed to them telling me that I can do it. But they said that right now it's kind of a little bit different. Where you can do it. They'll contact the shipper and stuff. But so then I went to Florida, came back almost. I did all right. I paid the insurance, which I struggled to do, and then that's when I had going to Florida. I said, let me put this on a credit card so I can pay the insurance, and then I'll have time to catch up. Maybe I think if I plan it right, it'll all work out, and it didn't. So halfway to Colorado, I did it the right way. Like I didn't panic when I was like, Jesus Christ, what am I gonna do? What do I do? Like what if I miss
Mm-hmm.
a payment? I'm going to Colorado and I get there and I can't pay it. So I called the broker. I explained the situation. I was professional about it. And I asked him. I said, "Hey, I got good news. I got bad news." I was like, "The good news is the freight is in good hands. Bad news is this is the situation." So he actually, after he had, I gave him options. I said, "This is gonna affect you more than it's gonna affect me because I can come back and fight another day. This is
Mm-hmm.
gonna kind of affect you." So I gave him options. I said, "I'll wait here in, I think it was Indiana." So I was like, "I'll wait. You can come and take the freight off the truck." So he actually sent somebody to come take the freight, and then he thanked me. He said, "Well, it was like not a lot of people would have did that, and if things work out, you come back, you have my number. I would love to continue to do business with you." Um, so it was
So
that.
you didn't have no fuel. You didn't have no money to fuel to finish the
No,
run.
I did, but the thing was, I just didn't want to take the risk. I just didn't, what if because my credit card was already maxed out, and so what if I did do the run and then it was just I was like running on the last my last thread. I just did it. I don't want to run it like that. I don't believe that's the right way to do it. So
So Vermont, Colorado, Florida,
yeah,
and one cross country, and then you tried to make another cross country back
halfway.
way where. I'm not gonna get into that, James, right now because Okay, so I want to keep. Okay, so where did we leave off? Where'd you? What happened after that?
So, 2 weeks. I took the next 2 weeks off. Last week
Hmm.
my son was sick and stuff, but I was trying to find a middle mile job, and I found one. There's a bunch of ads for Amazon relay. So basically, all the DSPs that run the final mile delivery stuff, uh, they're being pushed into middle mile. So there's a lot of ads out there for you to go work for them. And when I went today to do my interview, the person hiring me was telling me that what they're trying to do, that specific building, and I'm pretty sure it's probably other buildings as well, that they're trying to remove all the independents running relay so that the DSPs can have those contracts and stuff. So I was like, oh, and then it was just a little bit different because this
Oh, stop, stop,
particular,
stop, 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 stop. So I was right.
yeah, you were right.
Hold on,
You were
guys.
right.
I gotta get everybody. Undefeated, man. I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated, man. This is what they told you, right?
Yep, that's exactly what they told me.
Hey, your boy is undefeated, man. Undefeated, man. All right, man. You can finish your story.
Yeah, so that's exactly where I'm at. But it's actually it's very different because like that particular DSP was saying, "Oh, we never did middle mile and stuff like that." They have no clue. You know what I mean? So, but it's I tell them like it's kind of different because so basically what Amazon does is they budget their finances for them. So they do because what they do is they lease. They're leasing. I saw a bunch of Penske trucks over there, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Penske is haunting me. You know, everywhere I'm going now, I see a Penske truck. Uh, so they lease it. So what they this DSP has 11 leased trucks, and it makes sense, you know, because I was trying to figure out how do they how do they run it, you know, and basically Amazon that office they do pretty much a lot for them. They'll budget everything for them. So what that DSP was telling me is they get paid by the length of the route, an hourly rate, and then they'll give us our hourly rate based off of that.
All right.
So
So basically, what's going on now is Amazon ordered a bunch of 26-foot box trucks and they've been coming in, but to speed up those orders, they're not going to wait on all these trucks to come in. They want to ramp up this DSP transition into middle mile. So what they're doing is they're leasing trucks now as well from Penske, Ryder, whoever, right? And basically what he's saying, guys, is what I've been predicting for the past 6 months now when I did that video and I talked about that MMRO program. Nobody else is talking about it. It seems like the influencers that do Amazon, and it's a few of them, they haven't mentioned this. They may don't know, or maybe they've asked after I put that information out and it was confirmed. And if people confirm what I been forecasting, then people don't want to tell you you're right. Um, James has confirmed it because he's on the inside now. Um, and he said out their mouth that ultimately, over a period of time, they're looking to phase out. Did she say what was the exact verbiage they told you?
this is word for word. They're trying to get rid of everybody else and get the DSPs over here on this side.
So
That's
ultimately, they
exactly
want
what
the
she said.
DSPs. They want the DSPs to handle the middle mile, and I think we all know why. It's like what I said. Why? So that they can have better control over it. It's better when it's middle managed. All right. It's better when it's middle managed because a lot of owner operators, as some of you guys know, because you guys that run Amazon, I see you guys say things and complain about other things you guys see with some of these guys that are running these Amazon routes. A lot of them just aren't professional. So it's better to middle manage it. And I told y'all. All right. So what else? So you went, you got the job, and what else?
Um, and then right away I just called you, try to give you an update, you know, uh, and I was trying to figure out literally everything. How do they operate? Because when I was filling paperwork out, it was kind of like they think they're kind of slick because what basically when I was starting up my authority, and also when I had a compliance agency uh,
Yeah.
do stuff for me. I had to fill
Yeah.
out like it was like an application for DOT and stuff. But so when you go there, they have you do it on an iPad labeled Amazon up top. But I already know that's not what it's not Amazon. You're trying to apply for
Hmm.
your work history with DOT and stuff, so you can. Uh, so I was asking them about how about the ELD? You guys have an ELD? She was confused. She was like, no, no, we don't have.
They don't need
It's
it. It's local.
it's no, no,
It's
it's
gonna be
middle
within
mile.
a right, but it's gonna be within 150 air miles.
Okay. So yeah, so I was trying to figure that out. And all the trucks, the guy interviewing me, one of the employees was saying, "Oh, all the trucks are brand new, 2022, Freightliner," and it was like basically what I was renting, same thing.
Hmm.
Uh, so that's pretty much it with the whole Amazon thing. And now what I'm doing is gonna go back to work, do my due diligence, come here, watch, try not to make any mistakes again, like applying for my DOT and having to rush stuff, you know. And I'm
Getting back.
really grateful for you guys, you and Kirk.
Uh, pre- Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Can I ask you? Let me ask you a question. Do you mind sharing what this DSP middle mile opportunity is paying you to run middle mile
Yeah,
overnight for Amazon?
well, it to me it's crazy because I'm a little bit overqualified. I mean, you know what I mean. I was making more money prior to before I started my business, and I was making 25 an hour. I was managing. I was a business contact for a contractor through FedEx Ground. So I was making 25 bucks an hour. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I was, so now they're only offering 21, and then they came up straight up was like, that's what we're offering. Like we're not offering anything else. But I didn't say anything because I need a job. I gotta bounce back. I gotta pay the factory income. I got things I gotta pay for running things the way that I ran. But to me, a lot of the times throughout my day, I think about a lot of the things you say. I just feel like sometimes, like you said, business doesn't there's no race in business. And it doesn't have a culture. It's green, So I keep that into mind, especially in this interview because I mean I worked for a lot of cultures. So and you're 100% right. Business does not have a race or a cult. It's green. You know what I mean? So there's that. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, what you said? You said they paying you 21. So,
Yeah.
um, I appreciate you. I mean, you've always been. Some people want to hide behind their failures. You've always were upfront. You took some constructive criticism from me and Kurt. It sounds like even after that constructive criticism, you went and made some of the same mistakes again. Sounds like you were in places that you shouldn't have been. And New Jersey to Colorado is another cross country trip that even after the New Jersey, New York to California, after we berated you for that, like you tried to do it again. But I'm not gonna do that now. I appreciate you even sharing it because a lot of people on my channel constantly ask about you. You put your journey out for the public and people are genuinely concerned about your journey. Somebody actually put a comment today about you from that video where I kind of uh not criticized, but I gave you some tough love. Like somebody put a comment under that video today said, I wish you guys would help me the way you guys helped James. You know what I'm saying? But with you coming back and even letting us know now that you're going to work a job to pay back the factoring company, come from under the debt uh, that you have accrued, and ultimately stack your bread up to try it again, I think it takes a lot of courage. And I think your story is encouraging one other people not to do some of the things you did. But it also lets them know that people in business fail, and the thing is, you may fail 2 or 3 times before you get it right. That's just business. You see what I'm saying? So that's one thing that you do have and that I like about you is you accept it. You're not ashamed of it. You embrace it. You keep moving.
Thank you, Mark.
So I think eventually you still hard headed though. You hard headed. You hard headed in a month. You know what I'm saying? But you do have some good characteristics that I see of an entrepreneur. You're fearless. You know what I'm saying? You just got to make better decisions. And when people
Thank you.
are telling you what to do and what not to do, you got to listen to them. You need to practice more self-control and a little bit more discipline and a little bit more patience. DSP, right? You working for a DSP, discipline, self-control, patience. You see what I'm saying? Even though
Yeah.
DSP stands for delivery service
Service.
provider, delivery service partner, but you need to practice some discipline, patience, right? And I think you will ultimately one day you'll get it right. But now I got all the inside information for Amazon. Cause you're gonna let me know. Even though I know
Yeah.
it anyway, it's good to have a source that I could bring on the channel and talk to. Cause everybody else, my inside sources, that even inside source, they even gave me that information 6 months ago. That was real inside, real inside. I'm talking about on a corporate level inside. So I can't, But yeah, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you bounced back, and
You're welcome.
I think you're gonna come back in the cargo van space when you come back, right?
Yeah, I can try that.
No, I
I
thought
can
that's what you
definitely try
said you
that.
was gonna do. I thought
Well,
that's what you said you was
right,
gonna do.
right, right now, I'm just focused on. Honestly, that's why I'm here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll try that. I can try that. Just gotta pay this stuff off first, and keep coming and take notes and look into what it's like. I mean, I did enjoy middle mile with the straight truck,
Mm,
but like you said, some of us have box truck dreams, but cargo van money. So
mm.
you know,
Hey,
if a cargo van gets me box truck money, you know what I mean? Then
uh,
I can do
ho-
that. So
hold on. My one hater just entered the building. It's always my one hater that hit the thumb down button, unless that was by mistake. Shout out to my one hater just came in the building. You give me a chance. Hopefully it was a mistake, but if it wasn't,
Yo, goof ass. Goofy as
get a chance to hit
hell.
my button. You dig what I'm saying?
Yo, goof ass.
Get to hit my button. Hold on.
Goofy as hell.
Shout out to the Goofy. Shout out to the Goofy. You can only hit it one time, so you got to accept this Goofy.
Yo, goof ass.
All right, Jen. Sorry about that. I had to hit
it's all
my
right.
button. I was waiting for my one hater to come in with the one thumbs down. He always come in, whoever he is. I'm gonna take the time one day and spend that little bread to find out. You know what I'm saying? I'll have my hacker guys, my hacker buddies, man, find out who he is or who she is. You dig what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm glad everything worked out. See, when we get to talk about Amazon and people hear the shit that they don't want to hear, you see what I'm saying? That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, adapting to change. It's coming. You can't run Amazon forever. I've been said that. As soon as we get to talking about Amazon, people get upset. Listen, history repeats itself. Amazon has showed you how they move in other two other lanes. I don't understand why people think ultimately the middle mile wasn't going to go in that direction anyway, especially after the goddamn fools and all the crackhead ghetto ass shit people did during the pandemic running for Amazon. Of course, they was going to change that lane and micromanage it. Some people can't run out here on a man. I see some of these Amazon guys pants hanging all the way down off their ass. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So yeah, man, they gonna micromanage that, man. It's coming though. And guess what? When it come, it's people that's thinking that that day is never gonna come, right? Because I see people saying that dumb shit. I see people putting it in comments, and when that day come, they gonna be assed out because they didn't prepare. So the information is out there, and they could think it's not coming, but it's coming. So no matter how many people tell them, no matter how much proof, no matter how many job ads they see, people hiring, DSPs hiring to run 26-foot box trucks to run from location from facility to facility and from facility to a multitude of post offices. They just gonna keep thinking, oh well, no, they can't do it. Okay, well we'll see. So shout out to the hater. I mean, I'm glad, man. You doing okay, bro? I appreciate you for coming
Thank
on
you,
and
Mark.
letting updating people on your journey. Because man, like I said, people always ask. So I think everything gonna work out for you, bro. I think everything gonna work out for you. Just pay them people back, stack up your bread, and just make sure when you come back in, the next time, man, you do it right. Shout out to Kirk. Kirk said James have a team on his side that a lot of people don't have. So Kirk said that's basically Kirk's way of saying he's still willing to help you. You see what
Thank
I'm
you, Kurt.
saying? So, I don't know why you the chosen one, James, but I guess you the chosen one. But the next go around, bro, you gotta listen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen.
Yeah, I'm
And
going to.
because I told you, you gotta listen though, bro. So man, make the best out of Amazon, man. Give me all the juicy information so I can keep shitting
I
on the
will.
haters and telling them that they dreams are gonna be eventually shattered.
You tweaking.
You know, and appreciate you for coming up. You got
Thank
anything
you. I
you want to
appreciate
say
you.
in closing before you get out of here?
Um, yeah, just you know, I understand why sometimes you give tough love and the way you speak sometimes, you know, especially when you're educating. It's like sometimes I used to think, man, it's a little crazy, it's a little rough, but I understand
Who, me?
because right,
You talking about me or Kurt? Me?
both of you guys, the both
I'm
of you
not rough.
guys.
I'm not rough.
Um,
I'm
I,
cool.
I I get it. I get it though, because some of us lack business experience, and what you guys are trying to prevent is like, for example, right now it's tough. It's not easy having to have a mindset of trying to come back. Like sometimes the emotional side, the emotional side is, man, it's rough. It's hard
But
to
see,
pick
whether
up.
did you
But
watch the
without you guys
presentation?
talking the way,
Hold on, stop. Did you watch the presentation earlier?
yeah, it was perfect. It was
What did
perfect.
I
It
say about
motivated me.
emotions though? What did you just said the
You can't
emotional side?
you
What did I
can't
say
have it.
about
You,
emotions?
you got you got to be
So it ain't
passionate
no
about it.
emo. So is it you can't? So it ain't no emotional side. Anybody that run a business off emotions, they're gonna fail.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So what you just said right there, you need to get rid of that mindset because I just said it in the presentation. You
Yeah,
can't
you
run a
did. You're
business
right.
off emotions. You see what I'm saying? You gonna run a
Yeah.
business off passion, if anything, not emotions. But go ahead. I just had to cut you off right there because
Yeah.
you
Well,
was
that's
tweaking.
why.
You tweaking.
But that's why I tell you, that like some of us we don't know that. Like some of us are emotional, you know. But that's why I'm very grateful and thankful that I get to come here. Like everything starts falling into coming together, like little pieces of like every live and stuff. I just start to, like our goal is to try to understand your mindset and try to emulate it and so that we can be successful as well. And
Well, you want to come here and take in the information, and you still want to formulate your own opinion. You see what I'm saying? Just still formulate your own opinion. But for you, just listen. You dig what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
you formulating your own opinion has, you know, it may be just better for you to just come take the information and just take heed to it
right,
instantaneously and directly. Just just directly take heed to it and go do it. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, I'm thankful, thankful.
That's all
And
good.
for chat too, I'm glad people reached out and trying to figure out how I'm doing and stuff. Not a lot of people get that.
No, not a lot of people get it. Somebody put in the chat earlier, like, man, why you can't help me like you help him? Because I don't even I don't even respond to certain DMs and stuff now. It's just getting too out of control to the point where I just don't have the time, bro. If I spent 20, 30 minutes responding to all the DMs, I did the math earlier. With the amount of DMs messages I got today, if I took 20, 30 minutes going back and forth with people, that would have been 5 hours. You see what I'm saying? I just can't do it no more. So, you know, for you to have access, for you like how you called me earlier,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't have that access. So, next go around, just make sure you do what you're supposed to do, bro. Because a lot of people want to be in your situation, right now. So, God chose you for whatever reason. So just don't take it for granted. All right.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, man. So appreciate you, man. Just reach out if you need me.
I will.
All right, man. Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was James. Y'all wanted to know what was up with James, so he just told y'all he's out of the trucking business for right now, but he'll probably be back in eventually. Hopefully, he comes back in maybe on a smaller scale. Oh, we got another visitor. Hold on. We got another visitor. Oops. Hold on. Call back. Caller, whoever that was, call back. Call back. All right. Shout out to Natasha. Welcome to the channel. Shout out to Natasha. Whoever that was, you can call back. I'm a student. I'll take some sauce anywhere I can get it. Let me see. Natasha. Let me see. I'm a new subscriber. James have a team. I think that was Kurt calling. If that was you, Kurt call. You can call back, unless you did it by mistake. Yeah, James, man, just keep pushing, bro. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. But that Amazon information that I gave y'all, it's real. It's real. Now, James saying ultimately gonna phase it out. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think they might have to keep it just as a backup, sort of kind of like how Flex is, but they ramping it up, as y'all can see. They're ramping it up. They're ramping it up. They're ramping it up. They're not waiting for the trucks that they ordered to fully come in. They using Penske and other companies, and they're increasing the DSPs, and they're leasing the trucks from Penske and Ryder and whoever else. I actually had I talked to a lady about a month ago who runs Amazon Relay, and she said they offered her a DSP opportunity to run middle mile. So they're already offering it to people in Relay. Like, hey, you want this opportunity? You're gonna have to bring on. I think she said 8 trucks, and I can't forget what the dollar amount that she had to invest in, but I think it was 8 trucks they were going to provide her. There was a dollar amount associated with that for the buy-in, and they offered it to her. She said ultimately she declined because she was having a hard time trying to just figure out the one truck that she was running. So stepping up to that, she just saying she knew she wasn't ready for that. But that's the direction that they're going, guys. So, guys that are running Amazon Relays, just, don't be naive. I know I crack my jokes. I know people hate and put the thumbs down because they don't want to hear it, but I guarantee you, and I'm going to put the 10,000 wow up. I put 10,000 wow up that I'm right on this. So if you want to make the bet, come with your 10K, and I guarantee you what I'm saying is real and it's going to happen. So shout out to the hater. That staple's getting too light. So gonna take advantage of this moving season in between. That sounds like a plan. That moving ain't gonna be light. It ain't gonna be light by it ain't gonna be light at all. The money ain't gonna be light. The furniture ain't gonna be light. It's definitely gonna be heavy. It's gonna be a lot of work because this is moving season. We in the start of the moving season, so a lot of money to be made from now until the end of September. Took a page out of your book, Mark, and booked a 1-bedroom move for this Tuesday. Shout out to you. What'd you charge? What'd you charge? What did you charge? Hey, Kirk, if that was you calling, you could go ahead and call back. I'll bring you up. I'll bring you up. Go ahead and hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let me see if there's any questions before I get out of here. Appreciate, what does it say? Appreciate your advice on the cargo van last week. Saved me from making a bad purchase. Hey, man. See what I'm saying? Every live, I get good testimonials, man. I'm glad you listen, man. I'm glad you listen. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Devontae. I appreciate that you share the knowledge. I always share with my kids in some way. Appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook. Being in Seattle, the market is vast and fast over here. Atlanta's in the building. Shout out to All in One. Heavy Goodman in the building. Who else we got in here? Let me see who else we got in here while I was on here. Young World, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Let me see. Mike Powers, haters. I don't know what part of the lie that was. Let me see. James, well, let me see. Hi, Mark. Congratulations on the ad. Shout out to Ibrahim. This DSP has 11 trucks, and Amazon is telling them they're going to have a lot more, so they are hiring everyone and literally everyone. Yeah, so Amazon, they ramp up very quickly. So if let's say they onboard you with 11, when we talked about the SMART acronym in this presentation that I did, measure. All right, so Amazon ramps you up very aggressively. So if they bring you on with 11, they already have you measured out. They're going to say, okay, we bring you in at 11, 30 days or 60 days, we need you to ramp up to 20. That's how they do it with Amazon. And if they're ramping it up like that, like James said, ultimately they're trying to replace, phase out, whatever, that middle mile relay. So I know one that they are aggressively seeking more DSPs to either one take on opportunity in that lane, and two, I know for a fact that now they're even reaching out to now I don't know how they're determining which relay people would be deemed a good partner, let's say, to offer the opportunity versus the ones that they deem that probably wouldn't be a good partner. But I know I've spoken to someone that runs relay that said they got an email with this program offering them to become a middle mile DSP, and onboarding they would provide her with X amount of trucks, and she needed to provide X amount down payment to buy into that program. So they're ramping it up, guys. I got 10 grand. For all you Amazon lovers out there that don't think it'll never happen, I'm willing to put 10 grand up. And we can escrow the money. We can put in an escrow. Cause I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna win that bet. I'm gonna win it. So if you believe that strongly in Amazon, go ahead and run for about a month or two, save up your 10 grand, put in, I give you an escrow account you can put it in, and We can see who's right and who's wrong. All right. And that's me on my cocky shit. All right, because I know what I know. So, uh, yeah, lesson learned. It was a lot of this is going to D1. That's why I calculated 8 hours of work, even though they said take about 4 hours. What y'all talking about? Oh, yeah, I asked them for the price. Let me see. Okay, I charged 800. They only had furniture left and a few boxes. Okay, so we did a live a few weeks ago and we talked about pricing. I think I've talked about it a few lives. When you're doing a move, this is, I mean, you already done quoted them now, so you got to live with it. When you're doing a move, you never give a flat rate. You never give a flat rate. You never give a flat rate for moving. Never. Never. I charged 800. They only had the furniture left in a few boxes. No packing within 75 miles. You never give a 75 miles. I still consider that damn near local. So 75 miles, that's 150 miles round trip. 75 miles, an hour driving there to, yeah, that's local. I would charge that about an hour round trip. You're going to come way out better than $800. Way better. And here's the thing. If anything can happen on that move, let's say there's an accident on the expressway while you're traveling from point A to point B, and the expressway gets shut down because you can't get past, cars flipped over and the lanes are blocked. Now you're sitting there. If you charge by the hour, they're getting charged for that while you're sitting there. It's an unfortunate situation, but it happens. I remember doing a move where it was a real narrow block without an alley and there was nowhere to park. I had to move the truck 19 times during that move. Cars can get by, right? But if a UPS truck or a FedEx truck or a garbage truck or another moving truck or some type of box truck or any type of truck came, they weren't able to squeeze by. It was a narrow street. There were cars parked on this side. I had the truck parked really, really close to the cars on the right side, but cars were able to come back. But anytime a truck came, while we were loading that truck, they couldn't get past. I had to circle the block. I had to stop what we were doing, put the ramp up, secure whatever was on the edge of the truck, close the door, and circle the block, come back, position close to the thing, and moving that truck 19 times during that move took up a lot of time. Now, was that our fault that lady moved on that block? No. So all that time that it took up, ultimately she had to pay for all that time. This is why you never charge a flat rate for a move, because you have to prepare for the unexpected. Now, what you may think may be simple, and you know what, this person only got this, they only got that, it's going this many miles, so you know what, give me 800. Now, when something unexpected happens, and now what you thought was going to be 4 hours turns into 8 hours, turns into 9 hours, turns into 10 hours, whatever it may be, ultimately you've taken a loss. And there's nothing you could do about it because you've already given a rate. And this is why you don't take flat rates in moving. And then there's situations where customers will tell you one thing and then you get there to be another. Or they'll tell you one thing, but then they forgot about the basement, or they forgot about the attic. Man, you know what? I forgot the attic, man. We got 150 boxes in the attic. And then you got to crawl up a crawl space. And now, so, it's done now. Just, for future references, charge by the hour. Yo,
What's going on, Mark?
how you doing?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Loud and clear.
And I wanted to just tap in with James. Um, Glad to see that he's on a path. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I wish him all the best. What I said about having a team, all the time we talk about um, networking with people and just having a connection as truckers. You know what I mean? And he's a prime example. I remember when he was in I remember where it was, and he reached out to me. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I try to tell people, like, you know, not everything is about money. Sometimes a consultation alone can take you somewhere else. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes just watching a live and just being here can take you a long way. So a lot of time people see, you know, people getting into certain clique. It's not because of just money and sometimes it's just being at the right place at the right time
Right.
and just what I mean,
Mhm.
being able to be around the right set of people. So after a few months of watching him and talking to him, and he got my number, he got your number,
Mhm.
and I think at this point, I think anybody in YouTube who watches our channel, um, I think that having connection with people and in the trucking business and just know what you're doing it can make or break you. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so a lot of times, like you said early on in the presentation about emotion, I talk about that all the time. Business is not about emotion. I spoke to you a lot about stuff that some of the time I talk to you about costs that I have to be paying out, unexpected costs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
And being a business, last week I shared with you about a breakdown I had. I'm supposed to drop that video.
Yeah.
Uh, Wake up in the morning, start the go to start the truck, and the truck wouldn't start. And I told you that it costs the dealer says it's gonna be $2,000 to send a truck out there and all of that stuff, right?
Mm. Right.
And I was sharing that with somebody else, and the person said, "Oh, so now you're gonna have to go back and work that money back." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, you lose $2,000, so now you gotta hustle that back, right?" And I'm like, "No, that's why we talk about having a reserve. That money is
Mhm.
already made. It's already in a bank sitting down for these type of situation. You
Mhm.
get what I'm saying? So if I went to the dealer, we talk about getting the oil change. The guys they did a point by point inspection, and they said all the brake on the trailer, the tractor need to change. That's another $2,000. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
now I take it in for a oil change, which is almost $900. Then I end up spending another $2,000. So
Mm.
we talk about these reserve and the importance of having money put aside for your business because anything can happen. We have DOT out this week, and I could get pulled in and they're like, your brake need to change. Your truck can't leave until it's the only way it's gonna leave is unless you tow it or get it fixed here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we talk about all having the resources. We talk about having a business structured in a way where you don't have to be worrying about those stuff. And
Mhm.
emotion like you're right. Emotion does not run business. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
And we're just trying to get our people to understand, man. Like every week you run your truck, no matter how much money you make, at least put $50 down, $80 down, $75 down, 120 down. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because the end of the day, like Mark said, if it's like it's like you get emotional. You're gonna get if you're not doing certain things, you base it on. You're gonna get upset. You get what I'm saying? You can't do that. And so I'm just fortunate to be one of those person who just understand business and luckily I can run, and stay afloat throughout this whole pandemic and still running my truck without ever have to, you know, break down on the side of the road and then break down emotionally. You get what I'm saying? Because I understand the business. And so
Yeah.
I think listening to James, I think we save him a lot more. And I wouldn't say a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of you guys who watches us talk to James, and y'all don't know this, but we save James a lot more than what James actually lose. You get what I'm saying? When we caught James, we caught him at a time where, because he believed in what he was doing was correct. I spoke to James. You get what I'm saying? So if James lose 20 grand when we caught him, that was 20 grand. I spoke to people that when they came to me, they lost the whole 40, 50,000. You get what I'm saying? Because again, they didn't have the proper guidance. So I think when he reached out to you for help and still had that extra money to spend,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I think we save him from losing much more than what
Mm.
he actually lost. And thank God when he came to us, like you said, he was hard headed, but and this is why when he went to California, is that's the point I'm trying to say. He believed what he was doing was correct.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So when he
Yeah.
came to me and you, we actually saved him from a lot more money that he could have lost in this business. So you know what I mean? All he got to do is just, he spoke to me about his personal finance and he spoke to you about his personal finance and we told him what to do. And he has a plan, which is one of the more upside of what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like many people, he doesn't want to start um, with the cargo van, but if that's where he's gotta start, that's where he's gotta start. But a lot of people didn't know this, but we actually saved James from losing much more than what he had, and he had money left.
Mm.
But we actually saved him a lot more, um, from losing a lot more than what he had.
Yeah, he gonna be all right. It's
Yeah,
just a learning lesson, and it happens, man. Some people don't get it right the first time. It's things that I didn't get
yeah,
right. It wasn't trucking. I think I came in at a good time, and I have a excuse me, a degree in business, and I've had other business endeavors on a smaller scale prior to me starting to move in, and then ultimately the final mile. But some people are just, and this ain't a knock. Some people
hmm,
just get certain things quicker than others. Some people pick up on things quicker than others, and
yeah, yeah,
that's all it is. And business is about timing too.
hmm,
Business is about timing. Timing plays a very instrumental role in business, and I think now, with everything that's happened in the past 3 years, let's say people that did fail in business that are going to tackle, starting a business again. I
hmm,
think with all the events that occurred, I think people going through some of those traumatic situations is going to ultimately make them better business people the second time around. So, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that I know what it's like. I've had businesses that I started that failed. I'm not emotional. I don't care
hmm,
about losing money and stuff like, because right now I'm at a point now where I'm not I'm only gonna risk what I can afford to lose. I'm not gonna put the whole bag up. And even if I
hmm,
do put all the cash value up, right? Cash, I have assets. You see what I'm
hmm,
saying? I got assets that I can go snatch from, but I'm not gonna allow it to get to that point. Um, I think this situation is going to ultimately make a lot of people that next go around that failed during the past 3 years. I think the next go around they're gonna be a lot better business people, and that's okay.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes you gotta fail in order to smack yourself upside the head and learn from your mistakes to do it the right way the second time around. So
yeah. And sometimes a lot of people don't understand. Like failure doesn't mean that. Don't necessarily mean money. Like you lose money.
mhm,
You can fail by just buying the wrong truck. I know guys who were coming in the box truck business when at the height of the pandemic, they went
mhm,
and buy, a Freightliner, uh by the time they went and get the MC number, the register, they get everything up to
Mm-hmm.
get everything up and ready. They bought a truck, 15,000 dollars because the truck got a deficit, a
Mm-hmm.
def system issue. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Or I know one guy, he bought a international for $7,000. They told him that it need the engine overall. It cost him 35,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then when he get ready to go, the truck need a transmission a
Mm-hmm.
few days later. So I know people that just failure doesn't, it comes in all different shape and form. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean that you come out here and you fail. I know people who fail and never make it out here.
Mm-hmm.
They never even get to run their first load. I know a guy from New York who picked up a load from New York. Dude from New York picked up a load from New York, drove the truck to Allentown, and the truck shut down. That was his first load. Cost
It
him two
happens.
thousand dollars. You get what I'm saying?
It
To get the
happens.
truck. So a lot of time failure is not even you even starting to run your truck. Sometimes some people fail. They fail before they even begin. I've spoke to
Yeah.
a lot of those people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So again, you gotta just keep your head above water and just keep going. You
Gotta
know what I
keep
mean?
pushing. So yeah, I think he'll
Yeah,
be all right. I think he'll be all right.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
he'll be
I
good.
got a text from you. I went on the Apple. I went on the Apple website. I got my Apple thing registered, so I can
Hmm.
listen to Wise Man podcast. But yeah,
Yeah,
and
I gotta.
next week you're gonna do Spotify, and
Yeah,
we're working
yeah.
on some other stuff in the future um to bring people pertaining to the Wise Man podcast. We're working on a lot of information that we're gonna be coming out with. Um, we're working on just because we what we're trying to do is, me and Mark talk about this, is we want to go in areas in business and trucking. We want to talk about stuff that a lot of people seems to be talking about, but it's whispering. You get what I'm saying? And we want to just shine a light on those stuff. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff that you and I talk about, we're gonna bring those stuff, like the interview about the broker last week, and just many more information that a lot of people don't want to be talking about. And just call it for what it is, man. Just call it out for what it is. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be working on that. That's why I thought it was important that it goes on as many platforms as possible. So I'm not, you know, knowledgeable when it comes to that. I'm learning that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It took me a week to figure out how to put it on Apple, and then, it costs money. Like I had to pay Apple. It wasn't that
Mm-hmm.
much. And then I had to rip it from YouTube. So I had to rip it from YouTube, download it from YouTube, rip it from YouTube, then upload it into a converter to snatch the audio from the video, and then re-upload it. So it's work. You know what I'm saying? It's work. But I think it's important to have it on all the platforms because we're talking directly to truckers,
Mm-hmm.
and the information is not necessarily something that needs to be viewed. It can be listened to, and we have to keep that into consideration while these guys are out driving on the road. We have to make it easy for them. So the
Right.
information isn't what we're saying. So that's why it's important that we put it on the podcast platforms, because ultimately, at the end of the day, even though the information is free, this is still a business. It has evolved into a business, and even though we're not charging anybody, we have to make sure that it's handled uh, correctly. So,
Right.
guys, if you, as we put it on more platforms, find it on the platforms. I'll keep updating people on the platforms that it's on, and whatever it is the easiest way for you to get it, then just get it that way. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
that broker interview made me stick to my guns for sure. Got 2.58 a mile, $2.58 a mile from TQL. That's what's up. That was the purpose of it. The purpose of it. I know we cracked jokes, we made fun, but
Mhm.
that's that has always been my approach. I know Kirk is a little bit more harsh, but I I think CSM, you said this. You said Mark
Mhm.
will tear you down and how you feeling bad, but then he'll lift you back up. So that has always been my approach.
Right.
And I
Right.
think, me cracking jokes and not necessarily trying to tear a person down, but I do try to bring some type of, I don't even want to say humorous, but I guess entertaining side to my live streams. And I'm just a, like, when we crack jokes, it was rough growing up. Now, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, you had to
Right.
know
Right.
how to signify. You dig what I'm saying? You had to know how to signify. So, I know how to crack a few jokes and I, make fun, but then I'm gonna ultimately bring you back up. You know what I'm saying? And that has always been my approach and how I present uh my content. And ultimately, that's what we wanted you guys to get. We want you to get the information, not us making fun and say, "Oh, y'all getting scammed, y'all getting duped," but take the information, um, take heed to the information, and ultimately do
Mhm.
better. Somebody put in the comment today, I think when Joey was talking about, yeah, I can't remember what he said, but yeah, it's right there in the Raycon, but nobody never reads the Raycon. I think one or two people put in the comment like, "Damn, I just went and looked at
Mm.
my Raycon. He ain't lying. It
Yeah.
is there."
Right. Right.
Well, I can't
Yeah.
remember
He
what he
said.
was
He
talking
said
about.
that. He said that he ain't lying. I just read my Raycon and it's there.
Right. So, that just proved that a lot of people don't read their rate card. So ultimately,
Mhm.
that whole lie was for people to definitely feel bad, but because they feel bad, it's gonna drive you to do better. It's gonna motivate you to do better. It's gonna motivate you to be a little bit more when you're negotiating with these brokers,
Be
you're
more
not just
aware.
accept be more aware, you know what I'm saying? Uh damn, man, I swear I can't think of no words tonight, man. I'm tired.
But
uh
see, I was saying the same thing when Cooley was on about
mm,
broker transparency when he was asking me about that, and I said to
mm,
him, a lot of us are worrying about brokers transparency when we're losing money right in front of us. Remember when I said that? And I was talking about stuff like the rate con, like what the rate con said. You get what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
now we have a broker who said that, if you guys get left at a truck stop, when I asked him, why are you guys not paying for a layover? And he said, well, a lot of people we don't pay, but a lot of people don't read the rate con, so they don't ask. You get what I'm
mm,
saying? And that goes
yeah.
into their pocket. So it's stuff that we've been saying, and I can say as much as I want to say. You can say as
Mm,
much as you want to say, but at the end of the day, uh, people gotta remember that regardless of what, it is your business, and you gotta run your business the way your business supposed to be run. You get what I'm saying? And that means that you gotta read your rate confirmation. You gotta check your load. You gotta check your BOL. You gotta make sure that when someone sign a BOL, they print their first and last name, not just some scribble.
mm-hmm.
And then when they can't find the freight, you over there telling a broker, the guy with the New York cap, or the guy that says he's from Jersey, or the guy that used to live in Miami. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
you need a name, Paul Willis, Junior Brown, Mr. Thomas Peter, whatever the name is, you gotta get a first and last name, and not just some guy scribble something um, down. You know, me and Terrence went to deliver a load the other day, and I asked this guy to print his first and last name. and he's gonna tell me that he never had to print his first and last name.
Mm.
I'm like, man, you better print your name on the paper because you ain't nobody, bro. You acting like you're a superstar. You ain't nobody, man. Man, just print your name on the paper or put my freight back on the truck. You acting like you some superstar. Ain't nobody know you. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Like you got a
yeah.
9 to 5 job over here acting like you're Mr. Super Special. Oh well, I didn't have to do it. I said, look, man, you better put it or I'm gonna take it and go in the office, ask for the person who pay you and let them print their name. You get what
Mm.
I'm saying? So I don't play because see when I submit that to my factoring company and they
Mm.
pass it on to the broker and the broker said we ain't paying for this and my factoring company come back and said they ain't paying because there's no name. Guess
Mm.
who's gonna leave with that stick? I'm gonna leave holding that stick.
Mm.
I don't care what you get what I'm saying because here's the thing. If I go to that facility and purchase something
Mm.
and it require me to sign that I get it
Mm.
and print my name, they're gonna want my name. You get what I'm saying? So you got to be stern with those things. And I think a lot of time, me and you talk about it. Sometimes I think people are afraid. I don't want to use the word confront, but a
Mm.
lot of time people got to remember your BOL, your rate confirmation, all of those stuff is your paycheck. Do not play with those stuff. You get what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. You know what I mean?
think I think people just gotta be patient. I think everybody wants that success and that quick road to the top,
Yep.
and they focus more on that than what's in front of them. These small little steps and these small little wins, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that will ultimately over a course of time that will garner you success. But it ain't gonna happen overnight. You got to make, like what I talked in the presentation, decision making. All this what we're talking about is decision making, making the right decisions for your business. But once again, I think everybody's mind is clouded with the finish line, with the success results. That takes time. You're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to make all these small wins, make these small these daily business decisions, make these smart daily business decisions, and over a course of time, you'll get to that success. Somebody just put in the chat, James saw the number, right? People look at that big number, right? And just
Mm-hmm.
because it's a big number doesn't mean you're gonna profit from that big number. Especially if you're running cross country, but looking at a big number, he's looking at a success, which really wasn't success. He's just looking at a big number. You see what I'm saying? So the decision that he would have needed to make in the process that he would have had to take to determine if that number was something that was worth taking that trip, those processes got skipped over. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're skipping over the processes that it takes to ultimately get to the success, man. I'm just glad that when I was getting started back in the day, a lot of these distractions didn't exist. I think it's a lot of distractions out there right now.
Yeah.
But people need to block out those distractions and focus on these small things, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. You can win. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm a living just testimony. Kirk is a living testimony. I don't show y'all a lot of lifestyle because that's not my angle either. My angle is to just get up here and run my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Based off my experience and stuff. But Kirk been to Chicago. And, Kirk is a straightforward. He like to call people out. So when Kirk came to Chicago, trust me, if I wasn't him, he would have let y'all know. I'm him for real. You know what I'm saying? So, but it took a long time to become him. You dig what I'm saying? And I think ultimately, what I'm saying, if you just, put your head down and build a business grassroots bootstrap and do everything the right way and not focus on, you know, that ultimate success story that you're looking, the fruits of your labor, the things that you acquire because of all the hard work and just actually do the work. When you look up, you're going to be successful, and you're not even going to realize you got to this point because you're going to be so consumed with the work. And that's how it happened for me. I can't speak for Kurt. I don't know how it happened for Kurt. But one day I looked up and I had made it and didn't even know I had made it because I was so consumed with the work. I was so consumed with the work. And I think that's what people need to do, man. And
Yeah, yeah,
and
that's true. Yeah, I'm addicted to what I do because I got a passion for it. I think
mhm.
people just need to develop some type of passion for what they do because the money part of it is gonna come, but it
Oh yeah,
takes time. You know
yeah.
what
The
I'm
money
saying?
part gonna come. Definitely takes time. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes, you're not even gonna realize. You're just gonna be working and stacking it, working and stacking it, working and stacking
Right.
it. You're gonna be so busy working and stacking it, you're gonna not even realize you're gonna be too busy working. You working, you stacking. You so busy working that you don't have time to spend it or realize how much money you done stacked. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So put your head down and just get to work. You know what I'm saying? Put your
Get to
head down
work.
and get to work. And it'll
Yeah.
happen. But make the right decisions. Make the right decisions. Make the right decisions.
Yes, sir.
So man, so
All
Monday
right,
night, man,
man.
we back at it, right?
Huh? Say that again.
We back at it Monday, right? Well, we
Monday.
back.
Yeah,
We
we
gotta be
gonna be
back at
back.
it now. We gotta be back at it now. So episode 12. I guess I can give them a
Yeah.
teaser. We're gonna be talking about racism and
Mm-hmm.
trucking. I
Yeah.
know I ain't the graphic designer ain't did the artwork yet, but we're gonna be talking about racism and trucking and what else? Racism and trucking and what else? What was the other
The
topic?
we're gonna be talking about people that are the extreme measures people are going to save their trucking business, the illegal activity that people are turning to.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
people who are in the trucking business, rather than just throw in the towel and call it a day, people are turning to extreme illegal activity, and you know what I mean. It's costing them dearly. So
right.
a lot of those stuff we're gonna be highlighting because I don't see a lot of people talking about that on the internet. They briefly would mention it, but we gonna be talking about it.
So racism and trucking, um, people doing desperate things in trucking to get make ends meet. I guess
Hmm.
CSM says box truck ism and trucking too. Box truck ism. That's what's that? Some pimp shit. Box truck ism. Cause I know what the ism is. You gotta remember, I'm from Chicago now. I know what the ism is. So what's some box truck pimping going on? Talk. I don't know about no box truck pimping. That's something new to me. If that's what you
Yeah,
saying, because ism means the ism. You
yeah.
dig what I'm saying? So
We're gonna
yeah.
talk
So we're
about
gonna
that
talk, we're
Monday.
gonna we're gonna talk about that Monday.
Hmm.
Because I'll just save it. I'll just save it to Monday. I'll save it to Monday.
Yeah,
All right. So
we'll
that
save it to Monday.
so
Cause,
that's
cause,
Monday's
cause,
topic.
cause, cause, and we can just highlight a little bit of what we're gonna talk about, just a little piece. But a lot of time people get denied because of load. Because a lot of time brokers deny guys of getting load. It's not just because of your trucking company or because of your your MC number. You get what I'm saying? But we
Mhm.
gonna get into that Monday. Even the way they talk to you at some of these shippers and receivers.
Mhm.
But we gonna break it down, and I'm gonna share my experience being
Mhm.
a trucker, and I've experienced those type of treatment. Um, we're gonna talk about people that are in position at jobs, and what one thing people got to remember when you're a business owner of a truck, even when you pull up at a truck at a shipper or receiver, they don't know that they will still see you as a truck driver. They believe that you're driving that truck for someone. So this is why a lot of this racism. We're gonna talk about it Monday, but I'm gonna break it down and we're gonna be talking about it.
Okay, so that's Monday. Racism in trucking and desperate business decisions in trucking. I guess I'm gonna put the. I have the graphic designer drum the title up, make it real
Yeah.
intriguing, make people wanna.
Yep. So don't miss
Um,
it live Monday at 9 o'clock on the east. What is it? The East Coast.
maybe we
And
should start early. I like starting early, that 1 hour early.
oh, you want to
That's
change it to the
Yeah,
to
let's
that?
change it. At least one more week. I'm curious to see if that traffic, that extra traffic, because we doubled the traffic. I'm just curious to see if that
Yeah.
was because of the topic or because
Mm-hmm.
of the time. You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
and we just to kind of like tell the people that's here, um, I'm working on. I already got somebody. I've been trying to ask her for a couple months to come on the live, and I'm gonna probably ask her again. Um, I'm gonna see if I can get her. But we're working on a DOT officer to come on the live on the Wise Man podcast because I want again someone that is active working to come and talk to you guys about the violation and your how it affect your business, your MC number, what can put you out of business, all of
Mm.
that stuff. You know what I mean? I know me and you, Mark, we talk about that. So there's a lot of stuff we're working in. We don't want to give too much away, but I just want to just highlight those stuff because we want to keep you guys running and keep you guys trucking out here, but we want to keep you guys, you know, not accumulating violation and getting into all these issues. So we're working on a couple of things, and many, many more things. But you got to understand, like some of the stuff that me and Mark, some of the stuff me and Mark want to bring to you guys, these people still at their jobs. So it's
Yeah.
kind of
So.
tough. It's kind of tough to get them on a platform because this is the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They got to weigh if they want to take a chance with Mark Kirk versus their
Yeah.
job.
I brought a final mile exec on, and then the next day I got
Right,
emails
right.
from the higher execs that we approved it, but man, we didn't know he was going to say that. Man, can you take it
Yeah,
down? And we
yeah,
had the broker on the other day. Anonymously. We call him Joey, but Joey ain't even his real name. So we gotta remember not to call him by his real name. And
right,
like
right,
this industry, no one really wants to come on
right, right.
to talk. So it's like pulling teeth, and that's time consuming. You see what I'm
Uh-huh,
saying? And I see why you don't see this on other channels because man, these people don't want to come on for whatever reason. They have non-disclosures and things like
uh-huh.
that with their clients that they can't talk about certain things on public
Right,
platforms. So,
right, right.
it's a lot of behind the scenes
A
work
lot of
that
stuff behind
goes
the scene
on.
that people don't
Right.
know. Right.
I see Zupta talking about I'm making him yawn. Listen, I've been up since 4 this morning and I've accomplished a lot of things today from a multitude of different business angles, so on and so forth, and researching and contacting people to come on that Monday show is one of them. So we hope
Yeah.
that y'all appreciating the effort that
And Mark Brown said that he said that we should bring an account manager on and I talked to you about that too. We have see what a lot of you guys we have a lot of people.
they just
I
don't want to
have an
come on.
account manager. It's you gotta understand like this like it's just it's like a lot of these people like we can't get them because again and here's the thing with us with me and Mark because we talk about this we don't want we even if we gotta find somebody to come on we want to focus on people that are actually working. This is a challenge that we're having. We're not going to find X guys. We want guys that are actually doing the work today and you get what I'm saying? And I think that's where probably me and you, Mark, got to start to see if we can find some X people. But I
Mm,
I mainly focus on just trying to get people that are actually going to work today and tomorrow and next week to come on the live and give us
mm,
the information. And that
mm,
is where we're getting a lot of challenge where a lot of folks we can't get them to come on because by the time it's like okay we can let you remain anonymous, we can don't put a picture up, but then a lot of people they'll agree, but then
mm,
2 days before the live they'll be like, I don't. I'm surprised the broker came on because we
mm.
talk about it and it's one of those things where you keep your fingers crossed. You get what
We're
I'm
gonna get
saying?
another broker too. We gotta get another broker. I think we
We're gonna get
need,
a next broker to come on
you
and
know.
talk about go a little bit more in depth.
Hmm.
Because even that broker that was on, I kind of feel like there was still that fear
Yeah,
that what I mean I don't want to release too much information because again we're going in areas where it's just forbidden for certain
yeah.
people to talk about. You get what I'm saying? So we're working on it, man, and we like I said, man, me and Mark team up and you know we just want to work together and just build this platform so we can have you guys have as much information as you can and you know what I mean. We just don't want to be a next podcast talking about truck. We want to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
talk
just
about a little bit of everything. So don't be
yeah,
surprised if one week we're not talking about trucks. We may be talking about, I don't know, real estate. You
yeah, yeah.
know, I don't know what it's just, but it'll be something that'll be educational and
Mhm,
some general, just some type of general business information that you can apply uh
mhm,
uh to any business. I try, like everything that I do is start out. It's
mhm,
not um it's not on the fly, down from my YouTube page even to this podcast. It's called the Wise Men Podcast. It's not
right,
called the Box Truck Pod. Like I would never put box truck in
right,
any
right, right.
title that I do because I have a vast amount of knowledge on many different things. So I'm not gonna never uh 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 I'm not gonna put myself into a box. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
uh um that's why it's called a wise man. That's
Mhm.
why I'm called Mark the mentor. So I can talk about a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why the Wiseman podcast is we're going to talk about other things pertaining to
Mhm.
business, not just uh trucking. So hopefully it continues to grow and we can get
Yep.
some more guests on and go
Yeah, and
from
I
there.
reach out to that. I reach out to that guy today, Jason. Uh, I was actually talking to one of my buddy today. Jason is my buddy that he's friend with the truck guy that I told you I want to talk to.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to bring we're trying to bring a truck salesman, a good friend of mine by the name of Jason. He's gonna hook me up with this guy, and he's gonna come and talk about how people get ripped off and buying a truck and all the signs to look for, and it's just they gonna give you the behind the scenes stuff and the juicy stuff that
Right. Right.
I know 5 Star Logistic. He love in Jamaica. We said you guys love mix up. You know what I mean, Mark?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do like how these other channels they do, and nothing wrong with it. But you see so many
Yeah.
channels interviewing this person how I made $50 million with dump trucks, or how I made 100
Right. Right.
gazillion
Right.
dollars. Like I want to talk to people who say, "Yo, this is how people get ripped off when they buy a truck, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what you should do, or this is how you should do it, or this is what you
Right.
shouldn't do."
Right.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, everybody's telling people how they made their fabricated whatever it is dollar amount, and like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we heard enough stories. where
Right.
they're real
How can I be
stories or
protected?
fake. Right,
How
right.
can I be protected? You know what I mean?
So how does an individual become successful? How can they avoid certain pitfalls? What should they look out for? So
Right.
that's the angle that we coming from. It may be a little raw, a little raunchy, you know what I'm saying, but it's real. You
Mm-hmm.
dig what I'm saying? So it's real, in your face, up front, and I think ultimately that's why the show is growing. Is because it's coming from real. It's coming from, and here's the thing: a lot of this information is what people want to ultimately sell you, and we're pushing it out there for free. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of people mad
Mm-hmm.
because they're not gonna be able to sell their courses and things of that nature. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, man, it's a doggy dog world, man. It's free. It's free
Right.
enterprise, and
Right.
I can do a lot of pro bono stuff. You dig
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because I'm straight. So it is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead, man. Let me see. What about getting cars and cribs up there? The guy in Chicago running around in a cargo van that rhymes. Man, you like the fifth person to ask me about Buddy. I don't know Buddy. I know he from up here. I watched a few of his videos. It looked like he be in the suburbs. I don't really know Buddy. You dig what I'm saying? I gotta. And here's another thing. Like I've collaborated with people in the past, then it didn't work out. And you know, a couple people in the past, and it just didn't work out. So I'm very particular and careful who I collaborate with. Me and Kurt do a lot of collaborations, and we see eye to eye on a lot of stuff. And then when we don't see eye to eye on things, it doesn't turn messy. It doesn't turn. We just don't agree on it, and we could still shake hands and be normal after we agree to disagree. A lot of people, well, some people that I've come across that I've tried to collaborate in the past, we don't need to name no names. Obviously, you guys know it was a couple people. Uh, man, sometimes people just come from different walks of life, and I have to really feel a person out before I bring them onto the channel. I'm just not gonna bring anybody onto the channel. Um, because I just want to fill him out first. So I watched 2 or 3 of his videos. I don't know him, but you know, let me research that. Let me get a feel for him, and if I like his energy, then you know, I probably reach out to him. But you know, we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. You know. All right. You got anything to say, Kirk?
No, man. All those things we mentioned, we're just working on those, man. And then, I just want to
Yeah.
jump on to just tell James, just keep focused, and to everybody that's watching live, just keep focused, and for all the new people, just keep focused, man, and just keep going, and just keep watching. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like Mark said, man, we're here to give you information, and this is why me and you, we do these collab and do these live, because we want to get the information so a lot of guys don't make a lot of mistake. But yeah, that's it,
Mm-hmm.
man. Like I said, we working on and a lot of stuff that's gonna be coming. We just gotta just get these people to agree and come on, and just you know get you guys the information, so that way, because here's the thing: it's one thing when we can talk about the brokers and making money, but there's other areas that we find a lot of people are losing money, such as buying a truck, paying for insurance, making paying dispatchers, all that stuff. So we just want to protect a lot of people that are watching us, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people do reach out to us, and they actually looking for us to guide them through their business every single day. So that's all we're doing, man. Just trying to
Yeah.
protect you.
And I gotta
All
make an
right.
announcement on that. I can't do no more. Like I just don't have the time to answer people questions in the DM no more. I ain't finna hold you. I just don't have the time no more. I just
Yeah.
don't. So if you want to talk to me and it's very important, you don't have to. I don't care either way. You're gonna have to book a coaching or a consultation. I just don't have my DMs is just the I hate using this word because I try to be humble, but the larger the platform gets, and now with this Wiseman podcast, and I got people from different, not just even boxer. I got trucker people watching me now. I got other people watching me, people that have trucks, people that don't have trucks. I got people that have no interest. People hit me and say, "Man, I have no interest in trucks at all. I just listen to you talk. You speak very well. You're very smart, whatever the case may be." I get a lot of people in my DM. I just don't. A lot of the pro bono interactions that I used to could do, I just don't have the time to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? With real life business, this internet business, and building out this content, like I just don't have the time. So it's important that if you really want to talk to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't mean to be an asshole or nothing like that. You're gonna have to book a session or don't book a session. Either way, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but I, I can't even keep up with the responses. So don't feel bad if I haven't responded to you. I'm telling you why now. Um, so it just is what it is. This Monday show takes up a lot of time. This new show's taking up a lot of time, and then just life in general during the day. My daily business routines just take up too much time. So,
Yeah.
but on that note, I'm tired as hell now. I'm
Yes,
yawning.
sir.
I'm
I'll catch you
sleepy.
tomorrow. Peace
So
out
I
to
appreciate
everybody.
y'all. All right, peace, Kurt. Peace out to
All right.
y'all. I will see y'all Monday. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. I appreciate y'all. Oh, remember, Sundays are not a given no more. So this Sunday, I'm probably not gonna be live, and if I do, it'll be a pop up. I'm still gonna own Sunday nights, but I want to enjoy my summer, man. I gotta hit the day parties, man. You dig what I'm saying? I'm out.